I contemplated making this video several times because I didn't think there was anything else I could say that I haven't already mentioned or posted about for years now. So I apologize if you know what? I'm not going to apologize. I am allowed to be in shambles right now. I'm allowed to be unable to formulate a coherent sentence because my body is in a constant state of trauma and shock. So it is what it is. I am fucking exhausted. And I'm sure all of your Black friends are as well. We are in overdrive. We are trying to uplift and promote Black businesses. We are trying to dismantle systems. We are trying to evoke change. We are trying to be heard and seen and understood. And we are trying to avoid trauma porn online. We are trying to escape seeing our Black brothers and sisters being executed and slaughtered on social media. And in addition to that, we're trying to escape your bombardment. Your constant messages of asking how you can be a better ally or where you can locate resources, your copy-paste solidarity and condolences of I stand with you, I hear you, I see you. I'm just tired. I nor my DMs are, and the DMs of your other Black friends, are a search engine for the Black experience. We are not here to absolve your guilt, your ignorance, and your inaction. The same way you can Google where to get the best patio bevies and tacos with your friends is the same way you can Google our history. It's the same way you can investigate and research how histories of systems have been set in place to ensure that marginalized groups stay disenfranchised. It's the same way you can locate resources that Black people created for you long before the George Floyds of the world. I have been posting and talking about this for years now, and you passively scrolled by it because it didn't do anything for you. It didn't affect you. But it was convenient for you to bring up the Black best friend you had. And I'm tired of being a token in your life. I'm not gonna congratulate you for finally waking up and realizing what's going on in the world. I'm not going to congratulate you for doing the bare minimum and what you should have been doing already. And what I've been doing for you without question. I'm not going to congratulate our Prime Minister for taking a knee for his photo op when he was in blackface not too long ago, when he was demanding that this pipeline be made. You don't get a cookie or an award from me from that. I grew up in a predominantly white area. We used to live in Toronto and Scarborough, but my mom didn't feel like the educational system down there was set out to ensure that Black students thrive and excel. So we moved from there here because she thought that it would augment the amount of opportunities we were given. If you went to high school with me, and you have the yearbook, I encourage you to go look at it because it's like playing Where's Waldo with Black kids. There was barely any of us. And I hate this whole angry Black girl trope that we're rude, sassy, ill-mannered, and uneducated, but I was fucking angry in high school. I had 2 Black teachers, which is a high number for a lot of us in my entire experience in schooling. 2. And when I excelled in their classes, I had to justify to people why my grades were so good. It was never because I worked my ass off. It was never because I was intelligent enough. It was because they looked like me. So they thought that I was given the grades out of some sort of secret solidarity or society that we had just because we share the same skin tone. In addition to that, I had no one to advocate for me. So I had to digest your microaggressions and racism from 8 to 3 p.m. every single day for 5 years. I was given the nickname Jen because Janika was too hard to spit out. I straightened my hair and damaged my beautiful coils and curls because I was tired of feeling like a petting zoo. I was tired of people making fun of my hair. I straightened my hair because I wanted to assimilate, because I didn't feel beautiful enough. I didn't feel desirable enough. I didn't feel valued. Because the standard of beauty was never made with a mold of my body type or skin tone. Have you ever looked up what unprofessional hair looks like on Google? Because you will find an abundance of pictures with my hair type as it being deemed unkempt. And then near the end of high school, when I realized that the opinions you had of me and your issues weren't mine, and that the second we graduated, I would never talk to any of you again, I was excited. I was so excited to finally go to university and be surrounded with people that look like me. And although I was, the institution, never mind, fuck that. The University of Guelph did not create those spaces for us. Black students and students of color created those spaces ourselves. They plastered us on the pamphlets, they posted us on social media, and then when we got to the school, there was absolutely no resources for us. I recall doing campus tours and having Black students and their parents pull me aside to ask what it's really like on campus, and me having to tell them the truth, that they're not going to be valued here. Their money is valued, but beyond that, they're just a student number. I recall in 2014 or 2015, we held a rally on campus in support of racism at Mizzou and Yale. We made a list of demands and brought it to the administration, and we were disregarded. I remember parading through campus and being called monkeys by students, and afterwards we did a debrief on the rally, and some other students and I told the organizer that we didn't feel it was the most appropriate tactic to scream in the faces of the administration. And she put me in my place, rightfully so, and said that she has been trying to elicit change on campus for years and has been disregarded. So when you've gone through the appropriate avenues, signed all the forms, done the paperwork and protocols, gone to meetings, and you're still not being heard, what choice do you have left? And that is my argument for all the people saying that the looting and destruction in the city is unnecessary. Black people have every right to burn down a country they built for free. We have been pillaged, we have been raped, we have been kidnapped. We have had every Black-owned business we've created demolished. So I'm all for it. If you're not being heard, after we've been telling you for years, light the match. I have made videos in the past discussing traveling while Black and divulging my experiences with racism abroad. I have also made videos on traveling solo. And I prefer this method of travel because I acknowledge and accept that people are different. We have our own opinions, we have our own preferences, we have our own interests, our own schedules. But that's not the only reason. I have traveled with my white counterparts and been subjected to completely different treatment. They've gotten to walk through security with ease and pick up their bags, while I've been subjected to pat downs, having to go through the full body scanner, having my hair looked through, and having everything taken out of my bag, and then having my white travel mates be upset because I'm taking too long to put everything back in my bag and not understanding why that even took place. I have been called the N-word walking on the street. I've been called the N-word on dates. I've had to question if men are truly interested in me for who I am or because I'm something that they get to check off on their list of fetishes. I remember in university going to Ryerson's Black Student Conference, and I was so elated to be in attendance, to be surrounded by so many hues and shades of blackness, to finally occupy a space where I felt like my struggles resonated with people, that my blackness was accepted and welcomed. And upon the conclusion of one of the sessions, I asked why they hadn't mentioned police brutality and men. And again, I was put in my place, rightfully so. They mentioned that victims of police brutality, victims of murder, women specifically, their cases and scenarios often get swept under the rug and shafted. Thinking about this, they're absolutely right. Breonna Taylor's case, took place long before the outcry from George Floyd. And I think about her and the Sandra Blands and the Regis Korchinski Paquettes who never got their day in court. And that is why I want to reiterate how tired your friends are, because this is so many moving parts and elements. It is so deep rooted, it's historical, it's generational, it's systemic. So I implore you to do the research that you should have already been doing, but do it thoroughly, because there's so much that you haven't even begun to scratch the surface on. If you want to talk about allyship and showing up, when your friends tell you about their pain and their experiences, believe them. Don't try to justify the action of the perpetrator or the person who inflicted pain. Shut up and listen and learn something, and then mobilize. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. Continue the conversations, the research, the acknowledgement, the uncomfortability today, tomorrow, next week, infinitely. Because this, me, we're not going anywhere.